Rising motorcycling culture has made the premium segment quite interesting in the Indian two-wheeler market, and with that, we are also witnessing some very exciting products coming to the shores. Some of these products celebrated huge popularity while most faded away with time. But there is one brand that has been a cult for decades, and it remains so even now. It is the Royal Enfield Classic 350, which has been a preferred choice of Indian motorcyclists and travelers for years. But is it actually worth all the celebration and praise? Well, the vintage styling of the Classic 350, which is inspired by the motorcycles that did duty in the Second World War, had definitely been a charm and the most influential factor in its sales. But talking about the ride quality and the overall experience, it was lacking quite a lot of things. Now, Royal Enfield has launched an all-new version and almost everything in the motorcycle has been re-engineered except the iconic design of the Classic 350. We recently got a chance to spend a good amount of time on the saddle of the all-new model and came back with a big smile plastered on our faces. And there cannot be just one reason for that big smile. So let's talk about all the contributing updates as well as those that make no difference at all. Starting with the design. As you said, the iconic design has been kept intact and it looks like the same old Classic 350 even when you view it up close. To not make any significant change in the styling is a very strategic decision because that is the reason people love this motorcycle so much. But when you keep both the new and the older version side by side, you start noticing some minor changes in the headlamp, tail lamps, indicators and the instrument console. But the most noticeable change that we felt is the replacement of the spring-suspended rider seat with a new, better one. Though it remains the same split design, the elimination of springs gives it better hold and connection with the chassis. But those who still want the spring-loaded seat will not be disappointed as Royal Enfield is offering one as an accessory. The cushioning on the rider seat also feels better than before, but the pillion seat remains more or less similar, which means the Classic 350 is still not comfortable for the pillion rider. If we talk about the seating geometry, it is comfortable. You sit quite upright on the motorcycle, but you feel more confident thanks to the revised chassis. The previous Classic 350 was based on a single down-tube frame, while the new one gets a double cradle frame which increases the rigidity to a significant level. And not just that, the suspension setup is entirely new and balanced for different riding conditions. We felt a positive change in the ride quality and handling while riding the new Classic, and that was mostly because of the front end, which now feels much more confident with the fatter 41mm fork. The rear, on the other hand, has been tuned for a plusher ride. The travel has been increased and the new Classic 350 has a better ground clearance. It has gone up by 35mm. Both the changes are going to help you on broken tarmac and some mild off-road terrains as well. The damping is also better than before and it gets preload adjustability in 6 predefined steps. But one thing that we did not like is the stock tyre selection. The C8s that we had on the test bike did not provide satisfactory grip and the feedback from the road is also average at best. But tires is something that you can change. In fact, it will be great if Royal Enfield will add some tire upgrade options as well in the huge range of accessories that they're offering with the Classic 350. Now coming to the highlight of the 2021 Royal Enfield Classic 350, the all-new 350cc engine, which we also experienced in the Meteor. It remains a single-cylinder air-cooled unit like before, but the internals are completely revised and it gains an oil cooler as well. The motor delivers 20.2 horsepower and 27 Nm of torque, which is almost similar to the previous generation model. But a shorter stroke and increased compression ratio help the engine to deliver the maximum power earlier in the rev range. It results in faster acceleration and the vibrations are better contained, thanks to the changes done to the engine as well as the new frame, which maintains a smooth ride even till 5000 RPM. You can easily ride the Classic 350 between 80 to 100 km per hour in fifth gear without experiencing any harshness. The exhaust system has also been changed completely, and the Classic fans will be glad to know that it does not sound like the new gear. It is louder, and the pea-shooter design of the pipe makes it sound quite similar to the authentic Classic, but you definitely can feel the refinement in the new thumb. Royal Enfield has also worked on the 5-speed gearbox, and it perfectly suits the nature of the all-new engine. Gearing is tall and the shifts are slick. The rear disc brake and dual-channel ABS comes with the premium version of the motorcycle, while the standard one gets a drum brake unit at the rear and single-channel ABS assistance. We rode the dual disc brake variant of the new Classic, and it offers decent stopping power as well as progression. It is noticeably better than before, which was a much needed improvement in the previous generation Classic. There are some tech additions as well. The newly designed speedometer remains an analog dial, but below that you get an MID screen that offers a host of information just with a click of a button on the handlebar. There is a small TFT screen as well on its right side, which is borrowed from the Meteor, like the new rotary style switchgear. There is an app-based turn-by-turn navigation system. It works fine, but the app on the phone consumes a lot of juice from the battery. The issue remains the same, and we hope that Royal Enfield will fix the battery optimization as soon as possible. It also gets a new ignition lock near the instrument cluster, so you can lock and unlock the handlebar and also turn on the ignition from the same slot, which saves a lot of time and effort. Earlier, the Classic used to have a separate handlebar lock under the headlamp cluster. With all these feature updates and changes to the engine and chassis, the new Classic 350 has definitely raised the bar in comparison to the previous generation model. Even the build quality is better, and it offers improved handling and performance, and most importantly, an enhanced riding experience overall. We are not saying that it's outstanding or extraordinary, but it is up to the required standard now, especially when a product like the Honda CB350 has entered the market to rival it.